I'm Patty Elhoff. I'm the author of Upcycle with Decoupage, and today we're going to upcycle a plastic pair of sunglasses. This is the second time I'm doing this video because I did the whole video yesterday and I think these came out looking hideous. It's not that this is covered. I'm using these personally to push my hair back up over my head, so I did not need to cover up the lenses. If you want to cover up the lenses, you're going to need low-tack painter's tape to put inside and outside. And then I'll tell you the very next step for you. First, let me tell you what you will need though. You're going to need, get some cheap pair of sunglasses. You may even have some sitting around that you just want to experiment on. I have some links on my website, upcyclewithdecoupage.vpweb.com, that can take you directly to places where you can buy cheap bundles or cheap bags of sunglasses. Bowl of water. I'm going to be using Martha Stewart's glitter. This is so fiery. You may not want glitter, you may want to omit that step, that's up to you. Some sponge brushes, decoupage glue, a rough, very damp cloth, almost wet, because you're going to need to be wiping your fingers on this small of a project. A painter's brush. You can see that I use this one all the time. It should be small because we're going to be working with a small space. Obviously, your glasses, you're going to need the plastic base coat spray paint that you can get in any hardware store or the craft store. And I'm using a music sheet. You can actually use wrapping paper, napkins. I said yesterday newspaper, but personally I'm not wild about the newspaper. So the very first thing that you want to do, and a top coat, I'll be using the triple thick paint on because there's just nothing else like it out there. It's nice and thick and super glossy. Makes things look like glass. First thing you want to do is painter's tape on the lenses if you want to still use these for sunglasses, or you could do as I did, don't even apply the painter's tape. Oh no. And just make sure you spray the whole sunglass with the base coat, the plastic base coat. So, the very next step I wanted to tell you though is to tear some of these sheets of paper. Just make sure you do the tearing before you start decoupaging. You don't want to get your fingers all wet and tacky and then try to tear. I'm going to be cutting some pieces of paper, and you may want to tear them. It's up to you. It depends on what type of a look you want. I don't think a lot of my edges are going to be showing because I'll have them on the inside, and I think it will just make it a little neater if I cut these pieces. So on this arm, for example, I'm going to cut out just basically the size that I'll need. So from here to here I can see I'm going to need that much paper, and roughly somewhere in here. That's going to cover the arm. Then the next step, the next thing that I'm going to do is cover the arm in decoupage glue, front and back. If you want these to still be able to close so you can carry them around with you, you're going to want to just avoid the crease there. But I'm going to dip the piece that I want to use in water. This makes this so much more pliable and easy to work with. Then I'm going to lay it over the place where I want to put it. And wrap this around. And again, you can see I have some excess. I don't really want that excess. So that I'm going to tear away. That's okay. Excuse me, this is a tricky project. A little bit of I've noticed before, even before I had the newspaper on here, it just doesn't seem to be that smooth of a project. I tell you that because I don't want you to get discouraged if it's a little tricky or things are slipping around or complicated. And I tried doing this dry. In other words, instead of dipping the paper into the water, I tried to put it on dry, and it just gets too lumpy. It doesn't lay right. It dries with bumps and creases. Not good. So I'm going to continue to use the water. So I'm getting decoupage glue all over my camera. That's not good. I wanted to show you that the inside of this looks a little bit messy. You can see my fingers are already getting very tacky, sticky decoupage glue all over it. I am going to tear a very thin strip, and decoupage it right along this inside here just to make it look a little tidier. But I'm cutting out a size larger than I need. Because I'm not working with napkins and this wrapping paper is pretty sturdy, I'm able to press this down, make sure there's no air bubbles. Here I thought this was going to be one of my easier videos, and it's not. That's okay, we'll keep going. I'm already liking this so much more than I like that. Okay, so I'm also going to put a little piece on the inside there, and you can go on ahead and go around all of the rest of your sunglasses following the same instructions I gave over here. I am going to finish these, have my latte while it's drying. It's probably going to take I'd say 20 minutes or so to dry. So you might want to put those aside and start a load of laundry, take the dog out. If you have kids, do something with your kids. But I'll be back in about 20 minutes to a half an hour. Here's where this small brush is going to come in handy. I just put some decoupage glue on the inside here. Dipped my piece in water. I'm going to lay it down here, and rather than press in there with my fingers, I'm going to use the artist's brush, dip that in water, and press in on these spots where it needs to get into a little corner or a seam. And you can see how it sinks in. Not getting your fingers sticky, or if they are already sticky, you're not going to press it and pull it away. So you might need this brush in other areas, like over here, back here, around the nose pads. And there'll be a little bit of excess there, but that's fine. I'm going to cut that away. So you might need that brush to go into these smaller spaces. You might also want to just snip that with the small scissors. Okay, I have the whole sunglass rather, covered, and you'll notice that I've got some spots where it doesn't look quite exact. Let me find a good spot. Look what I'm talking about. Like around, especially around these spots. You can see how there's like a little bit of a lip there. I'm going to let these dry. I'm going to put them on a piece of wax paper and just let them sit for about a half an hour. And 20 minutes to a half an hour. And then I'm going to come back and look for any spots I may have missed. Touch it up with a little strip here and there. I think I'm going to go with 2 coats of decoupage glue. Before I do that, before you do that, I would suggest you just go around and make sure everything is firmly in place. You don't have any loose ends, anything you need to cut, snip, or reapply. I'm just going to, right now, cover the whole sunglass, how do you say that? The whole pair of sunglasses with the triple thick. As I am applying this top coat, per section I'm going to add my glitter. Sorry, let me focus in on this a little bit more. That's some fiery glitter, isn't it? Love that. So I'll do the rest of the glasses. I'll let you keep an eye on what I'm doing. I'll just fast forward through. Okay, these are now done. I did not need to put the glitter on the inside. The top coat you do because you want to seal everything up, but no one's going to see that inside. As a matter of fact, I'm only going to get glitter in my hair probably. That's okay. But there we are. We're all done. Put a little more light on there. If you've got any questions, feel free to email me. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'm adding new videos every week. Tomorrow, I believe I'm going to show you how to take a bunch of small seashells and make a wreath with them. Very easy, very quick process. So there are our decoupaged sunglasses, which for me is just a hair accessory. But I hope you had fun. A little bit of a challenge on this one for me. But I really like them now. I hope you do too. Contact me with any questions. Thanks again. See ya.